there was a document that said, look, we don't have the same stringent oversight as you do, NSA. Give us some money and we can do the spying that you can't do, and then we'll just share the information with you, which comes down to the old Five Eyes sharing network of the Anglophone world, which used to be called Echelon. Of course, there's a scandal when that was exposed in the late 1990s. So yes, GCHQ can pretty much do what it wants to. This is actually, I think, the fundamental basis of the so-called special relationship between the US and the UK. It's got nothing to do with trade. It's got nothing to do with history or fondness or any of that crap. It's all about the fact that after the Second World War, the US, of course, was coming into its ascendancy and the British Empire was fading. Yet that meant the Brits had a number of overseas posts which they could allow the US to use as listening posts. And then, of course, there was a very close working relationship between the UK and US intelligence agencies, which created this so-called special relationship. And the US still needs that. And that is the fundamental underpinning of this so-called special relationship, frayed as it is now, is this intelligence, electronic surveillance intelligence linkage between the NSA and GCHQ. So that's a sort of interesting issue, I think, and very dangerous. Now, with GCHQ, in terms of oversight, they are supposed to be answerable to the Foreign Secretary under the terms of the 1994 Intelligence Services Act, which basically says that if GCHQ wants to eavesdrop on someone of interest or a group of interest, they need to get a warrant signed by the Foreign Secretary. Otherwise, if they do it without that warrant, they are breaking the law, which sounds reasonable in a democracy, right? Unfortunately, from the Snowden revelations, we've seen how in the internet era, this law has become much more elastic. So when the first Snowden revelations came out, the Foreign Secretary at the time was William Hague, and he immediately went on the defensive and said, I'm the Foreign Secretary, I've signed all the warrants, I know they're working within the law. Now, even if those warrants were legal in the sense that GCHQ could hoover up everyone's electronic communications within the UK, that's what, 70 million people these days. And those warrants were never designed for whole nations. They were designed for suspects, groups or individuals. Even if that were legal and that were proportionate within a democracy, and I would suggest it's not, then where the hell does he get off saying that it's okay and proportionate for him to sign a warrant which allows GCHQ to hoover up all the electronic communications between North America and the whole of Europe? That's not proportionate. He's not elected by North America or the whole of Europe. So whatever he signed does not cover those activities. And yet we know from the Snowden disclosures, particularly Operation Tempora, where they mainstream off the fibre optic cables between North America and Europe, how on earth can he say that this warrantry system is proper oversight and it's proportionate and it's legal within a democracy? Because 430 million other Europeans won't agree with him. They didn't elect him. And certainly none of the, 500 million in North America as well. So at the moment, we're looking at analogue laws trying to control the digital age. This is partly why the Conservatives, since 2010, have been trying to push through this new bill called the Investigatory Powers Bill, which is otherwise known in the media as the Snoopers Charter. Because what they want to do with this is retrospectively legalise what GCHQ has been doing for years anyway, to make sure they can't be prosecuted about it, and also to broaden out those powers and say, look, GCHQ's doing all this stuff that's legal, but actually we're going to give them new powers too. We're going to let them do equipment interference activities, which basically means they're going to allow GCHQ to hack everyone's computers if they are minded to, and then also allow not only MI5 and MI6 to share that product, but also all our police forces. Now, if that's not Orwellian, I don't know what is.